Piscitelli from Aakron Line. What's up, man?
Great to see you. Happy New Year.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Devin and I have known each other a very long time, and Devin is a bit of a give back veteran in the promotional product space in that his company, Aakron Line, has been running programs like this for, gosh,
over 20 years.
20 years, yeah. So I was excited for the opportunity to have you in and talk to the buyers about what happens when a purchase through social good promotions through Aakron Line, what kind of happens in the universe when that goes down. And
good karma for everyone, I hope so.
Right, but it comes in the specific form of a program that you guys have put together. But before we get into that specifically, talk a little bit about Aakron as a company, where you're headquartered, how big the organization is, that sort of thing.
All that jazz. So family-owned business for 50 plus years. My sister and I are the owners. Currently, we took over from our father 20 years this year for me. And I will not divulge if Danielle's older or younger than me. She's younger, I should say, right? Then win-win. But headquartered outside of Buffalo, New York, and we have another facility in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yep. So we have seasonally 250, 300 employees. We do our own wood manufacturing, injection molding, blow molding, which is a good probably segue into one of our other programs that we just launched this year. But we had a great year, a record year for us, top and bottom line. So we're very blessed. We get to work with a lot of great people on both sides of the aisle and a lot of great relationships.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you guys do an amazingly good job. I never have any worries whatsoever when I press send on an order to you guys. I know it's going to get taken care of. So the industry, as I present it often to buyers, has what we haven't done a really good job of hiding. The dirty little secret we have is we're very plastic heavy. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about your organization, which a lot of the products that you manufacture are plastic based, but there's been a heavy effort within your organization to try to mitigate some of the environmental impact of plastic. So
absolutely, it's something we're very sensitive to. On one hand, it's great we're able to ensure there's manufacturing jobs here in the United States, which is something we're very proud of.
Sure.
But one of the things that we're sensitive to is all of our products are not disposable, they're reusable.
Correct.
So that's something that we can sleep at night with that. But one of the things that we just introduced this year is sort of a social responsibility, limiting or reducing our carbon footprint as much as we can. And one of the two ways that we're doing that to start is through poly bags. So anytime you buy a piece of drinkware or anything like that, you don't want to scratch, there's a poly bag. So all of our poly bags by the end of this year will be biodegradable between 6 and 12 months.
Nice.
We're currently at over 75%, but it just some of the cycle time to replace those things. So we're very excited about that. And then for several years, we've been doing 100% post-consumer cardboard, so 0% waste into landfills. Everything gets recycled. So something else, we're very proud of, and we're just sort of formalized a marketing effort, and hopefully you'll be seeing it out there and advertising that a little bit more to go along with our Give Back program.
Which we'll get to in a second, but from the sustainability perspective, setting your company aside, just as an industry as a whole, when you purchase things from us, we unfortunately have to package the product in order for it to make it in transit in a way that the recipient of that product would be happy with what it looks like. So it presents a bit of a conundrum for us in that we have to safely and ably ship the product in a way that meets all of those needs that we just described, and yet, be it whether it shows up at your office or mine or the buyer's office, the fact that the amount of packaging it creates as a result of what's necessary to make that transit happen is somewhat embarrassing, truthfully.
Yeah, it can be, for sure, just to ensure that ad copy or the product itself doesn't become scratched in transit because.
And that's whether you're buying a television, a lawnmower, drinkware, pens, whatever it is. I mean, it's a real issue. So I commend you that you guys have tried to tackle that head on.
Thanks. Yeah,
and
we have to start somewhere.
Sure. Well, and I'm guessing some of that has to do with the fact that the people who supply all of those packaging materials to you as well are finally to a place that they have the kind of technology available to them that they can even present.
We have options now, right?
Yeah.
5 years ago when we wanted to do something like this, we didn't have the options, where it was either the eggshell crating, or we're trying to get away from the polybagging in of itself, which is another option, and we're doing that where we can.
Right.
But when you need to have something individually protected, there's very few options. So.
Very few options.
Yeah.
Balloons, I guess. I don't know, but that's,
that's
a petroleum product, so I don't know if that works either.
So, hopefully this is going to snowball like everything else. We start doing it, other suppliers start doing it, distributors start asking for it, end users start asking for it, and it just will snowball on and help everybody get to that end goal where just people are cognizant and think about the generations to come.
Yeah, and the more the demand for it occurs, the more the supply chain has to react.
Mm-hmm.
And by companies like yours who do a significant enough volume with the people who provide you with that kind of packaging material, making that demand, it'll drive the market towards what we all need to see happen. But those constraints force creativity. And faced with increased consumer demand, it forces the supply chain to have to get creative. Right, so it'll be excited to see what happens in the year coming up. All right, so yours is the Give Back program that when I'm typically speaking to a new customer about what it is that our organization does, I most frequently reference your program.
Well, thank you.
And
appreciate it.
It has much to do with the fact that what Aakron does from a give back is probably the simplest to understand of all the give backs that there are out there. So I want you to talk a little bit about what that program is and what it does.
Well, thank you for articulating it that way, because we try to make it easy to do business with us, and when we have programs like this, to remove all of the headaches and try to make it simple. So we've been working with this organization called NAIR for 20 plus years, and over that time we've donated over $10 million worth of product to them. In one shape or form, and basically NAIR is an organization that will either give or sell at an extremely discounted rate product to teachers or boys and girls clubs or things of that nature, to get it in hands less fortunate, where they can use the product. And our program is like for like, so if you buy 1,000 pencils, we're going to donate 1,000 pencils to NAIR. And we change up not the categories, but the actual products on an annual basis, just to keep it fresh.
Sure.
So if someone participated last year and they want to participate again, they don't have to do the same product, because that's just the nature of our industry.
Yep.
People typically don't want to hand out the same
same thing over and over and over again, right? So, and by varying the products in the category, it's certainly the preponderance of choice on the buyer end is very important. So I want to give you an example of the way that I present what you do, just so that you have this sort of under your hat the next time that somebody might ask you this. So imagine we're at a job fair, and you're standing in the booth, and there's a bunch of booths around you of other people who are also competing for those candidates that are walking through that fair. Fortunately for us, we are an industry of things to give away to people at a job fair. So most of the people that are at those booths have something or other that they're going to hand out to that prospective employee as they're stopping through the booth. But when that same person stops at a booth, a product that has been bought in the NAIR program, what we've instructed the buyer to explain is the rationale behind the buying decision and why making the investment in the pencil that I'm going to give you makes a student be able to write, so that as that prospective employee is walking around that job fair floor, I'm hoping that what will happen is when they dump out their bag when they go home that night, and they're parsing through all of the things, that one product from the one
that's what stands out to them.
Stands out to them.
Yeah, differentiating, right? That's great, and we should print that on there. Yeah,
maybe we should, right?
Yeah. No, but that's a great example, and just any way to differentiate yourself, and obviously to help, the less fortunate or others is when you can do both.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
So you have a unique perspective because of the amount of time that you've devoted to the program. So many of the other suppliers in the So Good Supply Company are relatively new to give back, whereas this has been something that you guys have been doing for, a third of your life in a lot of ways,
Yes.
right? So has the demand for this increased? Has it been about the same? Like, what have you seen from the program from the legacy perspective?
So it seems to be the same percentage of the population, customers that get it, understand it, want to participate, and I think our industry is unique because distributors can love it, but if end users or buyers don't get it,
right, then
it doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
It doesn't trickle down or flow through, whichever way you want to look at it. So I think, I don't know how long it takes to get traction, from an end user base, but there's more chatter. People like you, thank you for spreading the word, getting it out there, making, just the options, kind of like what we were talking about with the packaging.
Right.
The more options there are, the more buzz there will be, and maybe our program isn't the right fit for everybody, but it's an option of, one of the, sort of feathers in the cap that hopefully that you guys have. You can go out there, and if it's not us, hopefully it's somebody else
Sure.
in their program. But, we always look for ways to improve and add on to what we're doing as well. So once again, that snowball effect where, if there's 20 suppliers now doing it or 40 suppliers, and, it's just rising tide.
Lifts all ships.
Yep.
You said it. The other thing that is interesting to me that I would love for you to talk about is how the program and the amount of time that your organization has devoted to programs like this has an impact on your company culture.
Yeah, so once again, it's, because we're in it all the time, I think we could probably do a better job internally, but people are definitely proud when we receive letters, when we receive pictures of the people, the children that are impacted, the smiles on their faces. It's really profound, and sometimes, we take it for granted because we're in it every single
Sure.
day, right? But I hope and would think that our employees are proud of all the causes and the things that we support and what we do. So it must help. But I don't think the direct question isn't necessarily asked enough, or it's probably.
But it's a pride point, I know, because it's visible in your building, right? That it's, even though you may not celebrate it per se, it is absolutely able to be seen by anyone who wants to see it.
Most definitely.
At any time,
Yeah,
right? And there's no better feeling, I believe, I don't work there, I don't walk the halls, but there's always a positive mental correlation with when you see the effect of what your organization's been able to accomplish, right?
Yes, and giving, I think, has that in whatever capacity. So whether it's in a business function or, friends, I think just giving generally leaves that, resonates with people. So I think you articulated it very well. It's just, it's evident when you're walking through the plant and somebody has a picture at their machine, or it's somebody's desk, or things of that nature. And it's something that we're really proud of. And those are the things that we would like to give more attention to. Put the forefront of the business, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way.
That's
right?
why guys like I show up, try to give you a chance to be able to do that.
Thank you.
So having said that, if this was your moment, if my buyers were sitting in this room and you were going to have an opportunity to speak to them about the impact of the purchases that they potentially could make with their marketing dollars, what would you want them to know?
I think just to try it, to try it once and see what happens when, everybody has the opportunity. I kind of chills just thinking about it, right? Like just what it's like to give unconditionally and not expect anything in return,
Yep.
right? And that's kind of what they're doing, and still accomplishing their goal and doing everything else they want to do. With their business and getting their message and their marketing points across, but affecting change and positive change in strangers' lives. It's
Agreed.
just,
without the expectation of anything in return is really where it comes from.
Yep.
In the course of the conversations that we've been having with people like you, we keep coming back to this one phrase, which is give the gift of giving. And by making a purchase that has a give back attached to it, you're actually giving twice, because you're giving to the recipient of what the nonprofit recipient gets, but you're also being able to inspire someone by virtue of the story behind what happened as a result of that purchase. And the program, especially for you and what you've done, I mean, the future of our country is in its children, and if they don't have the ability to be the best version of themselves, then our country can't be the best version of itself. So I appreciate the work that you're doing, man. You keep it up.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate
well said.
it.
Yeah, appreciate your time.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.